Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and
Shabbat Shalom.
welcome
It's
back.
Shabbos.
We welcome you to our home once again, and as I always like to say, we hope we're welcome in your home. We
miss you.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see
do.
some of you more often, but what can we do? But we have a special Shabbat, not a Jewish holiday, but it is Erev the 4th of July, which means, of course, it's the 3rd of July, and we'll be having some special songs and some special thoughts for the occasion as our service goes by. Once again, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat 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 Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat 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 Shalom. I'm a Yankee Doodle Dandy. Yankee Doodle do or die, a real live nephew of my Uncle Sam, born on the 4th of July. I've got a Yankee Doodle sweetheart. He's my Yankee Doodle guy. Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony. I am that Yankee Doodle, you are that Yankee Doodle, we are that Yankee Doodle guy. Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony, stuck a feather in his hat and called it macaroni. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, a Yankee Doodle dandy, join the music and the step. And oh, let us all be handy. My country 'tis of the sweet land of liberty. Of thee I sing, land of thy pilgrim's pride, land where our fathers died. From every mountain side, let freedom ring. Shabbat Shalom and a good 4th of July. We remember especially all of the true and real aspects of this festival, of this time. Gratitude for the privileges, for the civil rights, for the constitutional law that we have. Gratitude for having the opportunity to live in and to work for and be part of this experiment in democracy.
Well, that was my sermon, so I'm gonna skip the rest tonight.
Oops,
okay. Let you off the hook. It's the right spirit, no doubt. So with that, we transition to our traditional Shabbat motif, and please sing with Cantor Bard the Vishamru. The people of Israel shall preserve the Shabbat, observing the Shabbat throughout all the generations as a sign for all time as of the covenant between God and our people Israel.
Vishamru, Vishamru, Bnei Yisrael, et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, lidorotam v'lidolam, Vishamru, Bnei Yisrael, et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. בני ובן בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו רבי בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Thank you, Albert and Cantor. And so we continue now with the blessing of the Shabbat candles. Come, let us welcome Shabbat. May its radiance illumine our hearts as we kindle these tapers. Light is a symbol of the holiness within each of us. The human spirit is the light of God. Light is a symbol of the Torah's teachings. Light is a symbol of our people's purpose, as it is written, to serve as a light to the nations. Therefore, in the spirit of our ancient tradition, that hallows and unites our people in all lands and all ages, let us now kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kirshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Boi malachim, boi malachim, boi malachim. Welcome, angels of peace, angels of Shabbat.
And now we continue with the Kiddush. Cantor, would you take the Kiddush cup? And your turn to lead the Kiddush tonight. All right. Let us praise God with this symbol of joy. There it is, right there. As we express gratitude for all the blessings of the past week, for our lives and our health, for our home, loved ones, and friends, for the happiness that has come to us from our efforts. You have ennobled us through the blessings of our work and have given us Shabbat rest. As it is written in the Torah, 6 days shall you labor and do all of your work, but the seventh day is Shabbat, to be devoted to the eternal God.
We join together.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu.
V'shabbat kodesho be'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchilanu. Zikaron le'maaseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techilah l'mikra'ei kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, Baruch hu v'rushmo, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim, l'simcha, l'shalom, and to your health. Salud. Rabbi.
Thank you, thank you.
Man of Shabbats. I always say that.
An opening prayer. Creator of the universe, we lift up our hearts to you. We turn from our daily routine, from its uncertainties and its conflicts, from the clamor of the daily news and its weariness, as we find serenity in the calm of Shabbat peace. Source of peace, may we open our eyes more fully to behold your guiding power. Grant us comfort in this time of distress, the strength and the optimism to know that better days lie ahead. May our words of prayer and our unspoken meditations be acceptable to you,
O God,
our rock,
and
our Redeemer. Amen.
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 Ve'imeru, amen. Ve'imeru, amen.
Please join us now in the Baruch Hu and the Shema, followed, of course, by the Ve'ahavta.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim b'chokhma poter she'arim uvitvuna meshane itim umachalif et hazmanim umisader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem barakira kirtzono borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or uma'avir yom umevi layla umavdil ben yom uben layla Adonai Tzevaot Shemo El Chai v'Kayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed Baruch Atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. Blessed are you, O God, who causes the evening to come upon us and all the celestial lights for beauty and illumination. And together we chant the Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malechuto Le'olam Va'ed. And we continue. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'betecha uvlechtecha v'derech uv'shokvecha uv'kumecha וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Adonai Elohechem. Amen.
And now in English.
Love God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children, and let these mitzvot guide you along the path of life. May they instruct you, may they instruct us in our daily tasks. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. We place these at the doorway of our homes so that upon entering or departing, they remind us to live by the mitzvot. Tzedek tzedek tirdof, to pursue justice, to do what's right and good and kind, in order that we may reflect God's holiness throughout our lives and bring some sparks of holiness into this world. And particularly this the V'ahavta, we're thinking of the kids in our school who are having a month of some break just right now. But as of the last 2 weeks, we had a chance to study about the mezuzot, to study about tzedek, about tzedakah, and even to share through the miracle of Zoom. How cool is this? Everyone getting their beautiful mezuzot that we made together at the beginning of the school year, and to make sure they had the Shema written and rolled up in their mezuzah, and to go to the doorway of their home or their bedroom, and we together had shared a sort of Chanukiat Habayit, a dedication, by putting up our mezuzot.
I think all of us are aware that the words on the Liberty Bell are proclaim liberty throughout the land unto all the inhabitants thereof, and it actually happens to be from the Torah, which is interesting because the designers of the Liberty Bell chose something from what they would call the Old Testament, or we call the Hebrew Bible, as opposed to the New Testament. And the phrase in Hebrew begins with the word dror, which means liberty. And on the Liberty Bell itself, the word liberty is printed in extra large, bold letters to make sure that everyone understands the purpose of that particular bell and what it will mean for the life of our country. And so this is a kind of a Yemenite take on a phrase, Dor Yikra Levenu Lat, liberty shall be proclaimed to your sons and to your daughters.
Dor Yikra Levenu Lat, Venim Sochem Remo Vavat. Dor Yikra Leven Imat, Veim Sochem Remo Vavat. Neim Shimechem V'lo Yushbat, Shevu V'nechu B'yom Shabbat, Shevu V'nechu B'yom Shabbat. Dor Yikra Leven Imat, Dor Yikra Leven Imat, Ve'in Samchem Gemo Vavat. Neim Shimchem V'lo Yushbat, Shvu V'nechu B'yom Shabbat. Nitasorek betoch karmi, sheshavat b'nei ami. Dor Yikra Leven ulvat, Dor Yikra, Dor Yikra, Dor Yikra.
And now a prayer for our country on this, the eve of Independence Day. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, our God and God of all people, as we celebrate the birth of our nation, bless our country and all of its inhabitants. Protect all with whom we share this great land from danger. May you bless us with health and well-being from sea to shining sea. Guide the people of this great land to walk in your ways, acting with justice and compassion for all. May we be reminded continuously that the world is built on kindness. May racism, intolerance, and all forms of hatred be uprooted from this land. May our hearts be filled with empathy and greater understanding. May this nation always welcome the stranger and the immigrant. giving aid to the poor and the downtrodden, caring for the underprivileged and the disenfranchised. Let there be greater justice for all who dwell within our borders, so that all may live in dignity, in safety, and in peace. And let us say, Amen.
Amen. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shores. Send these, the homeless, send these, the tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp, I lift my lamp, beside the golden door. America, America, beside the golden door.
Very much in the spirit of Emma Lazarus's immortal words, of course, which are inscribed on the base of the Statue of Liberty. Again, Shabbat Shalom to all of you, and I wish you a happy 4th of July. Especially since none of us are likely to be attending any patriotic concerts or fireworks displays or backyard barbecues this year, I'd like to suggest that there is an especially good way for all of us to celebrate the 4th of July. And that would be by reading the Declaration of Independence that Thomas Jefferson wrote and Benjamin Franklin edited 244 years ago, beginning with these words, which I know you are familiar with. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Despite the passage of time, the Declaration of Independence remains a truly amazing document. It eloquently expresses the reasons why this country would be different from all other countries, to borrow a phrase, and a unique set of ideas and values that had never been tested before in the entirety of human history. When America's founding fathers gathered in Philadelphia in 1776, they issued a declaration that literally changed the course of history. An experiment dedicated to the possibility of a society governed by ordinary citizens, not royalty, with liberty, justice, and the opportunity for happiness for all. Just think about that for a moment, to include the concept of happiness in a political document. Unheard of, even to this day. And now, to this day, despite our nation's wealth and power, these ideals of the Declaration of Independence stand out over and above all other achievements. Think of it for a moment. When the founders declared that all are created equal, and the governments derive their power from the consent of the governed, they were contradicting almost the entirety of history. Equality, the consent of the governed. These were radical, new, and powerful, but up till then untested ideas. Without question, the most important and far-reaching idea of all of history is that human beings have the same intrinsic worth, that all, regardless of economic well-being or status in life, that all people deserve respect, dignity, and freedom. And even today, we would be very well advised to keep this thought in mind. The idea, of course, comes from the Torah on the very first page, in the breathtaking and unambiguous declaration that all human beings are created B'Tselem Elohim, in the image of God, and not just some people, but all people. It should be apparent to all of us that we are not there yet. The events of these recent weeks make this abundantly clear, that there is still a great deal to be done. Nevertheless, the vision framed by the founders of our country remains intact and undimmed, as the expression goes, undimmed by human tears. And I must remind us especially of this, that the Jews of America owe an immeasurable debt of gratitude to this nation that has treated the Jewish people as equals virtually from the onset of independence. Most other countries never even granted Jews the privilege of citizenship, let alone to be treated as equals. No other country in all of our history has ever been so just in its dealings with the Jewish people as has the United States of America. And so for American Jews especially, the 4th of July is deserving of being considered a yontif, a Jewish holiday of the highest order. Let me take a moment to talk about that old-fashioned sounding word, patriotism. We would do well to understand that patriotism is not about loving America, that is, the geographical country defined by its borders, by its resources, and by its countless gifts. Rather, it is about loving America for its ideas and its values, some of which remain admittedly unfulfilled, but never ever obsolete. I so appreciate what former Senator John Danforth once said, and to quote, "America is more than a place to hang your hat. It represents a value system most of us believe in very strongly. That value system has to do with the worth of human beings, wherever they are, and we believe that lives are worth saving." My good friend and revered colleague, Reverend John Buchanan, the former senior pastor of Chicago's great Fourth Presbyterian Church, delivered an especially memorable sermon entitled Patriot's Dream on the 4th of July several years ago. And with his permission, I am weaving some of his insights and some of his own words, along with my own, into this sermon. Speaking personally, I have always loved the 4th of July, Independence Day as it really should be called. We have so many reasons to appreciate and celebrate this country, especially, I should add, especially when we do not agree with its policies or its current leaders. The freedom and the responsibility to disagree and dissent is an essential defining element of what patriotism is all about. There are those who regard the massive demonstrations following the killing of George Floyd as divisive to America, unpatriotic, and I would say exactly the opposite. This is real patriotism. This is real love of our country. And as grim as was the killing of Mr. Floyd, so unfortunately by a police officer, a single tragic example of what happens all too often, the aftermath of that tragedy is incredibly promising. Who would have thought just a short time ago that there would be inscribed in huge letters the words "Black Lives Matter" on the very pavement of Fifth Avenue, right in front of you-know-what, painted there on instructions from the mayor of New York. A truly great clergyman and activist of the Vietnam era, Reverend William Sloane Coffin, wrote as follows: "How do we love America? How do we love America? Don't say," he said, "my country, right or wrong, because this doesn't get us anywhere. Don't just salute the flag and don't just burn it either. Rather wash it, make it clean." And so how may we best and most authentically love the United States of America? Not just with fireworks or hot dogs or stirring patriotic songs played by brass bands, but rather with hope and with compassion, with a never obsolete ethic that may yet fulfill that patriot's dream. As the great song tells us, a nation that sees beyond the years, her alabaster cities gleam undimmed by human tears. And so I ask once again, how can each of us best show our love for the country that has treated us so beautifully? And the answer is, with a love for the greater human family which constitutes the population of this beloved country. A love for all of the nation's peoples, its colors, its languages, its ethnicities, and its creeds. There continue to be those who, despite our increasing diversity, religious, racial, ethnic, and religious, despite all that, they still seem to want to impose fundamentalist Christian beliefs on all of America. The religious right, unfortunately, continues to play far too prominent and inappropriate a role in attempting to shape our nation's policies. There is something deeply unsavory, and I must say disingenuous, about the way in which so many of the megachurches in particular go overboard in wrapping themselves through their televised services in the red, white, and blue. And actually, they seem to display the American flag more prominently than the cross itself, which I find difficult to understand. And let's add this particular administration's coziness with the evangelical right, which is often equated with the president's core. This should make us, as non-Christians, profoundly uncomfortable. Actually, I consider it to be both dangerous and, may I say, un-American. Here's a little history lesson for all of us to consider. The people who declared independence in 1776 and framed it in a constitution could easily have created a Christian nation, but they did not do that, despite the fact that the founders were just about all Christians. They had come from Christian countries in Europe, and they wanted none of that. And in fact, it was Thomas Jefferson who came up with the idea that in America there would be no such thing as a church state. I am told that hardly anyone thought it would work because simply it had never been tried. But Jefferson envisioned a state in which citizens would be free to choose and practice their religion or abstain from it, and that's important. That's a critical point, in which the state would not ever enforce any religious position, especially that of the majority, on the rest of the people. What a blessing this very principle is to us all. Perhaps it is true that very few believed Jefferson, very few thought it would work, and yet here it is. It has worked incredibly well. In fact, so much so that we mostly take it for granted. Especially it has worked well for Americans who are not Christians. At no time in history, I repeat that, Has any nation ever done anything more powerful for the benefit of the Jewish people and for all other religious minorities than to devise this nation with liberty, religious liberty, and many others, liberty at its very heart? It is so important for us, the Jewish people, who have benefited far beyond our wildest dreams, to appreciate this and wherever needed to fight for it tooth and nail, to preserve it. Think, if you will, of how that originally fragile, very new concept of liberty has evolved and grown and is still evolving. Too slowly, to be sure, too slowly, but evolving nevertheless. There are still barriers that need to be torn down. There are dreams, millions of them, that remain unfulfilled. And we are not going to stop now, especially with this wave of newly invigorated determination to make our future substantially different from that of the past. And I'll repeat that, substantially different from that of the past. It is no sign of disrespect or lack of patriotism, but rather it is a sacred duty to speak and to act out of love for our country and with our eyes wide open, both to its failings and also, even more, to its limitless possibilities still unfulfilled. I am so hopeful that when we look back upon the tumultuous events of these recent weeks, that we will see that it marked a new beginning for America, a renewed America itself, by a return to the validity and the goodness of our own original values, first written down 244 years ago in the Declaration of Independence. America, with all of its flaws, with all of its divisions, and now with this urgent health crisis, America remains a unique and remarkable place. No generations of our Jewish people have ever lived in a place remotely like America, no time in the last 2,000 plus years. And so we return to the question, how shall we best love America? Not by waving flags, not by wearing hats with silly and meaningless slogans, and not by pretending that America can do no wrong, but rather with eyes wide open to things as they are, and also to things as yet they may come to be. With informed minds, not ignorant ones, informed minds and compassionate hearts, and especially this, with a deep-seated hope that this nation may yet become a full reflection of the values so perfectly expressed in that great Declaration of Independence. We would do especially well on this 4th of July weekend to recall the other verses of America the Beautiful that are not always sung. America, America, God mend thine every flaw, confirm thy soul in self-control, thy liberty and law. America, America, may God thy gold refine, till all success be nobleness and every gain divine. O beautiful for patriot dream that sees beyond the years, our alabaster cities gleaming still, undimmed by human tears. I wish you all a very happy 4th of July, and of course, Shabbat Shalom.
יהיו לעצונים רפים והגה ציון ליבי לפניך, אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי, וגואלי, לגואלי. And for our Shabbat, July 4th, Independence Day, Justice and Liberty for All, reminder, we're going to join together, Rabbi. I won't even tell you the song, I'm just going to sing it, and you'll join. This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. I roamed and rambled and followed my footsteps to sparkling sands by that golden desert, and all around me a voice was calling. It was saying, this land was made for you and me. Join me now. This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. I said, this land was made for you and me. Oh, let's say this land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land, this land is your land, this land is our land. Happy and good and meaningful 4th of July.
As we do every week, we pause for a few moments to think of those who are ill, especially our own dear ones and friends, but also for the many thousands that are struggling for their lives during this pandemic. So let's join together in singing the Misha Berach.
And as we offer Misha Berach, also we keep in our prayers, and we bless all caregivers, all those who are right there in the medical profession, taking on the responsibility of caring for and working to help and to heal and to comfort those who are ill. We join together, best you can. Mi sheberach avotenu, mikor habracha limotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu, mikor habracha lehavotenu. Bless those in need of healing, refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We turn now to the Kaddish prayer. And on the Shabbat, these are the Yortzites that we remember. Jean and Alex Shames remember Jerry Shames. Dr. Eli Lerner remembers Cheryl Marie Lerner. Neil and Sandy Clark remember Nellie Jackson. Catherine Hoffman remembers B. Eder. Sandy Clark remembers Harry Kleinman. Dottie Mizzy remembers Isaac Abo. Barry Steiger remembers Saul Steiger. And our Temple family remembers Rose Kaufman, Jesse Lewis, and Samuel Schlafer. And as well, although we do not know their names, we remember in our hearts with gratitude the thousands, actually the millions, that have given their lives in the cause of liberty and the defense of our nation. We join together. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. V'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uvyomechon u'chayedecho Beit Yisrael ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevorach li'olam u'lamei almaya. Yibarach v'yishtabach v'yitpo'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudisha b'richu. Le'elah min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and bring comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, Amen.
Amen. Sim shalom, sim shalom, sim shalom, tova uveracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim, aleinu v'al kol ha'olam. Sim shalom, sim shalom. Amen.
And in celebration of America, its independence, and this, its 244th year, we join together. America the Beautiful.
Oh, beautiful for patriot dream that sees beyond the years. Thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood and sisterhood, from sea to shining sea. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom and good Yontif.
Good Yontif.
Good Shabbos.
Be well, be well. We'll see you next time.